Me and Ty back at it again with another edition of Uncensored Sports, in which we talk about daily topics every day, except for Wednesday when we're doing NFL weekly picks. So today we got a lot of great stuff in store for you. We have been doing our thing lately when it comes to this channel, just trying to put out the best content for whoever's watching. Just want to shout everybody out who's subscribed to the channel, who's watched the channel, who's shown love over social media. We appreciate it. We're just trying to do what we love, and what we love is sports and bringing it to people and making sure you understand what's going on. So yeah, we got you. So facts. Woo. Alright. So what's basically gonna happen today is me and Tyler are gonna play a game of 2K while we go through all the topics throughout the sports day. We're gonna debate a couple things, but we have an action-packed show today. So please tune in and please stay and comment. Please just talk to us because we want to hear your input as well. As long, whether it's an agreement or a disagreement, we want to hear what you got to say most importantly. So let's get started, Ty. Let's get it, man. Hey. You feel me? They got the Warriors in here. Let's get it. Woo! Let's get it. Let's get it. Nah, we ready, boy. We ready, boy. Oh, let's get right at it. He wants to get right to the big stuff. All right. Well, as you guys know, Ryan Fitzpatrick has surprised everybody, including his own family, with the performance he's been putting up. 400 yards each of the last game. A nice little comeback in that game against Pittsburgh on Monday. That came in a losing effort. It was still good to see him, deal with adversity. I feel like the Buccaneers can depend on him more with that. I want to say something though. Let's not get ahead of ourselves when it comes to Ryan Fitzpatrick. Me being a Jets fan, I know how it is to get sucked in to his temporary good play. But just know it's temporary. Ryan Fitzpatrick will find a way to be Ryan Fitzpatrick, the journeyman that he is, and he'll find a way to mess it up, give those quarterback reins back to Jameis Winston, who in my opinion is a better quarterback. He'll be out there back again, and I think the Buccaneers can succeed with Jameis Winston actually in the long run. The Ryan Fitzpatrick is a glorified backup. He's gonna be that for the rest of his career. I just want everybody to pump the brakes on the Fitz magic talk because nothing about his game is magic after week 5. So, Tyler, how do you feel about the man, the myth, the legend, Fitz magic? Oh, you already know. You already know. I agree. Hey, for somebody who claims they don't know about football, I've been seeing a lot of improvement in how you talking about this game. That was good analysis, man. If only you can be that real with the Heat. Hey, sorry, you, um, Right, right. Fitz. Um, I think last week was his last real game where he goes for over 300 yards, and I think a lot of that should be attributed to um his receivers. Like you said, Deshaun Jackson, he has a history of having great starts and then falling off directly after. I truly believe that that's the kind of receiver he is later in his career, and I also think that they have great weapons around Fitzpatrick that can help him succeed. However, Ryan Fitzpatrick has been a turnover master his whole career, not just now, not starting after the Jets, not starting during the Jets, but it's been his whole career. And with the Jets, it was evident. And with Tampa Bay this last week against the Steelers, against a defense that's horrible, bro. Like there's a defense that's horrible, and he still threw 3 picks. However, he did follow it up with the two touchdowns in the second half. So yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy, and it's like, yeah, it is crazy what he's doing. And you look at it, and even though you know it's not gonna last, because whoever knows football, you know Ryan Fitzpatrick, and you know what he's not capable of doing. So, like, but it is still pretty amazing how he's been able to throw 400 yards each week, and some part of me really does hope he can keep it up, because that's a great story. A guy who's been a backup basically his whole career, a guy that really hasn't had long-term success in the NFL, except for being a long-term backup. I think him being and having success is good for the NFL because it's new. It's new for the NFL. We know we every single year we see Andrew Luck and we see Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and the same faces who they got as the poster boys for the quarterback position. And I think although Ryan Fitzpatrick is older, I think that he's a new face, and I love the like, a couple weeks back, me and you joked about this a lot when he came out in a press conference with the Cubans on, looking like fucking Pablo Escobar and shit. Yeah, 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 yeah. His Conor McGregor shit. You feel me? So it was cool to see him like that, and I like that kind of personality from a quarterback. You don't really see it from the real great quarterbacks, because the real great quarterbacks are about their business. Look, much like this, much like you're selling right now, Ryan Fitzpatrick will sell for the Buccaneers in a couple weeks, if not this week. So I predict a drop off dramatically. Yes, yes. Look, you. Uh huh. Oh yeah. We remember that. We love talking about that one. Look, Tyler, you had some pretty hard feelings about this topic. So I want you to start with this one. I'll just count off what you gotta say. I want you to start with this one. Preach. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, I agree. And about Baker, you know, he's expected he's expected to have the kind of a drop off from that first game. First of all, just in general, um, just in general from jump, rookies, they come out, they make mistakes, and that's what you expect from them, kind of. But Baker played really well for that first game, and much like Sam Darnold played well in his first game, you know what I'm saying? These guys are gonna have that adrenaline rush. It's game number one, baby. It's the game number one of their career, NFL. So I would expect nothing less but adrenaline rush. Yeah, yeah, yep. And then on top of that, I think, and then on top of that, I think that 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 loss is attributed to the Jets defense more so than Baker Mayfield playing, because Baker Mayfield came in and it's not his fault that the Jets weren't prepared for his kind of attack. The Jets should have prepared for both. And knowing this league, if you have a rookie quarterback, especially drafted number one, you have to expect him to come in at some point during the season, especially if their starting quarterback is playing really iffy, which Tyrod has been playing iffy from week 1 to week 3. Baker Mayfield would not continue how he would not keep it up how he played against the Jets. But not to say that Baker Mayfield wouldn't have a decent year. It's just the Browns have a lot of spots missing, you know, and injuries happen. A lot of stuff can happen throughout the year. So, we hope the best for Baker Mayfield. But I kind of agree with you here that we should pump the brakes on Baker Mayfield hype, because just like every other rookie, you know, exactly, exactly. There's a spot for these guys, in a couple years. So, hopefully we see Baker and Darnold being successful in the league. It was, yeah. So, what's the next topic? Let me stop fucking with you. Why would I ever answer that question, bro? The Browns. How many games they won already? So they've reached their peak. Yeah, no, I think the Browns can maybe they definitely have already eclipsed their win total from last season. I think they can pull off 5 wins. I'll give them 5, 6 wins. And that's being generous, because they have a tough schedule and their division is naturally tough. So that's what I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna give them 5 to 6 games at most. Um, what we're moving on to. I'm excited. Yeah, definitely. Jimmy Garoppolo's injury. Um, wow. And for the NFL, that was a heartbreaker, and not only because Jimmy Garoppolo and one of the up and coming names in the NFL, but simply because he's a young quarterback. You never want to see that happen to anybody, especially somebody whose career is just now starting. He finally got a chance to be a starter after backing up Brady for 3 years. It's sad. It's sad to see, but this is a PSA to everybody a PSA to everybody in the league, right? Please run out of bounds when you see defenders coming. The league has done so much to protect quarterbacks, and even in the wrong way with that unnecessary roughness call that's been absolutely putrid throughout the first 3 weeks in the NFL. But they've done so much to protect the quarterback. Now the quarterback has to protect the quarterback. At the end of the day, it comes down to your human instinct and protecting yourself. And Jimmy Garoppolo just didn't do that, and he did it out of the love for the game, out of the need to win, and the want to win. But sometimes your health is more important than winning football games, and you'll come to see that. It all has to do with longevity in your career. You want to play longer, you have to make smarter decisions. That's why Tom Brady's still around. Tom Brady has had one major injury, and from that major injury, his release time of the football has been astronomically quicker since that torn ACL in 2008. So I believe, man, I believe that Garoppolo can come back, but it's just about being smarter. It's just about being playing with your brain and not with your emotions. So it's definitely heartbreaking for the league, but hopefully Jimmy can get back to his form in 2019 and lead the 49ers to a Super Bowl eventually. How you feel about Jimmy? What's your thoughts on Jimmy? Exactly. Yes. Exactly, and that's what it comes down to, bro. Just being smarter as a quarterback, and not only a quarterback, but as a football player. You see a lot of these football players trying to stretch for the extra yard, and doing that, you tear your ACL or you tear you tear your Achilles. It's about being smarter for long term of your team success, because you getting hurt, yeah, it affects your career. But if you're a key piece to a franchise who's trying to rebuild, as the 49ers were just trying to do a couple years back, it's important to kind of put the team ahead of yourself in a sense, and be smarter with the football. Jimmy, he'll learn from that, like he'll learn from that mistake, and hopefully you next time you see him in that situation where it's either get out of bounds or get hit, he'll pick the smarter one. You know what I'm saying? Um, let me not interrupt you. I wanna say thank you to the two viewers in the stream right now watching this. We really appreciate it. Make sure you comment on whatever we're talking about, and we'll talk to you throughout the stream. Um, so Ty, let's get. Oh wow, thank you to the four viewers in the stream, and we really appreciate the support. Um, so Ty, let's get to the next topic. Let's try to impress our audience. Let's get to the next topic. Let's get it. Well, and let's talk. Let's be honest about it. The quarterback is the most protected position in the NFL. So I'm not surprised that they came out with that rule in the offseason. What I am surprised is how they're calling it. The body weight, you can't really help yourself when you're rushing at somebody and you tap. You can't really help yourself in your body weight. You understand what I'm saying? So you're giving defenders and defensive linemen and pass rushers like the outside linebackers, you're giving them less. It's like they're in a box when they're rushing the passer. Like they have to only hit you a certain way, or they can push you. And I've seen Tom Brady elude tackles so many times to the point where he's made a play because somebody didn't want to hit him. And just recently, the defensive lineman for Miami Dolphins tore his ACL trying to avoid hitting the quarterback. It's not only dangerous for quarterbacks in this league, it's dangerous for everybody. And I think that's what Roger Goodell and the NFLPA need to really understand, is that the quarterback is not the only position that should be protected. Yeah, you should put a microscope on the quarterback position because it's the most exciting position in football. You ask anybody, what do you want to be if you play football? I want to be a quarterback. The quarterback is the composer. They dictate the game. You understand? So I get it, but protecting the quarterback comes at a risk, and it comes at the defensive lineman's risk. If the defensive lineman can't find a position to hit a QB, then you're gonna see a decrease in sacks and a decrease in people watching, because people like to see hard-nosed football. Football played at its finest. I think Roger Goodell and the NFLPA are gonna revoke that rule soon. Today I saw news that they're gonna keep it going, and I don't know how long that's gonna last, because it's literally cost a team a game already, and it can cost a team a more important game in the Super Bowl or in the playoffs. So I think before that happens, Roger Goodell needs to come to his senses and revoke that rule from the NFL. So what's going on, Chris Gibson? Oh, all right, boom. Hold up, Ty, because we might have to do this all over on it. I changed this, bro. It said, C say he can't hear you, but I put that on permanently. Always allow. It says always allow. Allow you. It was you.
Oh fuck. Damn. Anyways, what you were saying. What were we talking about? You can you ready?
Yeah, yeah,
My fault.
definitely.
My fault. I've fucked up the last two videos, but
Nah, that's
I
alright. Look, hey,
mean,
we just getting started, and the thing
yeah, we're
about
just getting
this is that
started. This is the first two of many.
exactly. So the first two of many, and we have that mindset. Thank you, C, bro. C's appreciate you for
Yeah,
everything you've
thank you,
done for
C's.
us, bro. And even just now, you freaking saved half the stream. So we appreciate
Yeah.
you so much. Um, so what we was talking about, Tyler?
All
Get
right,
back to it.
cool.
Let's get back to it.
Now we was talking about the roughing the pass. Yeah, as I was saying, there's been four roughing the passes. There were four roughing the passer calls on Monday night's game in the first half alone,
Right.
which I think that's
That's
crazy. You
ridiculous.
can't
It's
even get the.
ridiculous. You know.
And then it's also hard when it's especially when the quarterback, especially like Big Ben. That guy's huge. Like, how the fuck are you supposed to hit him and not put your body weight on him and expect to be able to take him down?
And that's the
I mean,
problem. They
he's
act like these
huge.
guys are they act like these guys are all built like Drew Brees, and it's not the case. Big Ben, Cam Newton, these guys are legit
But even Drew
fucking
Brees,
linebackers. Like,
he spins off a defensive lineman like,
yeah,
or
like
not
these guys
lineman,
are
but
agile as fuck. Like, and that's the
yeah, like
problem. Like, you want to. I get you want to protect the money, man. Huh?
yeah, and that's the thing that I think that's a problem. I feel like they making this rule. I feel like it's more of a money rule move because like everyone wants to see someone like if every quarterback was throwing 400 yards like Fitzpatrick, everyone would be fucking happy.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
that's not football.
You know.
That's
See,
fantasy.
and now you see, and this is exactly why. Um, you see the increase in passing yardage so far this year. Look, defenders know, and their coaches have told them preseason, like, look, here, this is how you hit a quarterback. You can't do the extra stuff that we've been doing previous years. This is how you hit a quarterback. And in their mind, they're feeling a little neglected by the NFL. Like, we can't play our style of play, but the quarterback gets to sit back in there and throw pops and beat us all game. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, cornerbacks are already under a microscope. If you notice the pass interference and the holding calls, they're increased over the
Yeah.
last 5 years, bro. So you're saying you can't rush the passer, and on top of that, you could barely play defense against the wideouts. It's really the league is really soft, and I hope they change some of these rules
And
because
like I feel like I understand where they're coming from, but like as a player watching the game, or even as a referee just watching how the hits happen, I feel like you'll be able to notice if someone's trying to hurt someone or if they're not trying to hurt someone. Honestly,
exactly.
like like Tua Clay Matthews, the last one Clay Matthews got, I understand. He literally bounced on top of him, but the first one he got the week before that, he
Against the
literally
Vikings.
laid him down. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
no, yeah,
literally
exactly. He
laid
couldn't have
Kirk
done
Cousins
nothing
down.
bad. And
Yeah,
I want to stress this too. The second one where he put his body weight on the quarterback, who I think was Alex Smith. Even that one is not a roughing the passer call. You're running at somebody top speed trying to get him. That's the purpose of being a pass rusher. You're trying to get the quarterback.
hmm
You have one job is to get to the quarterback. You do that successfully, and it's like all of it gets taken away because of the way you landed on the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? When
yeah,
defensive linemen and offensive linemen, their job is arguably more dangerous than than anybody else's job because
yeah, because
these
they
are
got a
freaking
bunch of
300
300
pound guys. Yeah,
pounders.
you
Yeah,
know you could step on
one
somebody's
falls on
foot.
you. Yeah, it's over.
Exactly, and this is what I'm. This is the bias that I've been seeing from the NFL. How they care about the quarterback position, much more than they care about every other position. Where every other position you literally have to play with immense skill. With the quarterback position, you can have an average quarterback, and still win games because they're not able to get touched. So I really do feel like it's a problem that the NFL really has to work on, but at the same time, we're not gonna stop watching the NFL. We love the NFL too much. We've been fans of the NFL for too long. So, hey, unnecessary roughness call or not, I'll be tuning in on Sunday. Go Jets! So what's going on?
Agreed.
What's next on
All right,
the
let me see.
slate?
What we doing next? I think what we should do next. Let me get
And
this
guys,
list
we're
up.
just picking these topics randomly, just from personal just from personal amusement to those topics. Like, we see a lot of interesting topics every day that we like. Should we bring on the stream? Should we bring on the stream? And not everyone makes the cut. So if you guys want to hear about something or you want us to talk about your team, you put that in the comments, and we will make sure we get to your team before the stream is over.
Okay, this segment, I'm gonna let you have this one to yourself because there's a baseball topic that you wanted to talk about. I'm gonna let you go ahead and do you.
All right, so last night Jacob DeGrom played his last game of the season for the New York Mets. New York Mets started the season hot, and in the middle of the year they fell completely off the face of the earth, and they lost a lot of games, and it was nicked up a lot. A lot of their star players injured. I wanted this is not about the Mets. This is more about Jacob DeGrom and what the Yankees could have had by acquiring Jacob DeGrom. He is one of the best pitchers in the league. And the Yankees right now going into a one-game wild card game, we need a starting pitcher who we can rely on. Luis Severino hasn't been as great as we anticipated this year. The progress from last year hasn't been seen as much. I want to stress that I feel like the Yankees have made a big mistake by not going out and getting Jacob DeGrom in the middle and giving whatever it takes to get Jacob DeGrom, because he is a star pitcher. There's nothing that needs to be said more about Jacob DeGrom. He lowered his ERA to 1.7 yesterday. That's absolutely insane. He should be in Cy Young consideration. Shout out to him, man. He's a great pitcher, and he's still got so many years left. Oh my God, still got so
Oh
many years.
my God,
Still got so
bro!
many years left. RPD Wade, and we
Yeah,
wanna, and
niggas is oh,
I wanna stress Jacob DeGrom will continue to grow and become an ace like we know he can be. Tyler, let's get back to that football, bro,
you
or
want to get back to
basketball. I want to
football?
get back to that real stuff. Let's get it.
Or all right, so let's get back. Let's get to since we're playing with the Heat, let's get to Jimmy Butler,
Jimmy,
who
yo, look, the Heat is your team, but I gotta take this one. Jimmy Butler, bro, he's
okay.
one of the best two-way players in the league, and any team who can acquire one of the best two-way players in the league is better this year than they were last year. You know, obviously without having to give up any of their star pieces. Good thing about Miami, they
Yeah.
don't have no star pieces. They have a young team with a bunch of good role players, and Jimmy Butler can make that team a playoff team, and maybe even a second, third rounder playoff team. You know, I'm not sure, but I think Jimmy and D Wade's friendship goes a long way in terms of how the Heat played this year. Look, they're good friends, and D Wade is the veteran guy in the locker room, and Jimmy Butler is kind of the veteran guy with skill still, and it's like those two guys together leading that young team, and Hassan and Dion. Granted, none of them are traded away for Jimmy Butler. If the trade even does happen, I like where the Heat stand in the Eastern Conference. No LeBron James. I think
Well, I didn't even
everybody
shoot that. That's
after
tough.
everybody after the Celtics and the Raptors. I think everybody after them is open season for the rest of those spots. Um, yeah, so I think the Heat, if they acquire Jimmy Butler, that's a great pickup for them, and I think they can see themselves from anywhere between the third and the fifth seed in the Eastern Conference. I know you want that to happen. So how you feel about your Heat?
I mean, that'd be good, but like, I mean, more importantly, I want to talk about in this segment, like the situation that Minnesota Timberwolves are in with Jimmy Butler.
Uh,
Like the whole, like I think by when Jimmy Butler requested a trade from the Timberwolves, I feel like it was extremely uncalled for
mm,
because it was brought to everyone's attention that the conflict in the locker room was between Jimmy Butler mainly and Cat
Cat
and Jimmy
and Andrew
Butler and
Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins. Yeah.
Exactly.
So for them to go out of their way as he requests a trade to give Cat an extension, I think that was extremely uncalled for.
Mm,
I feel like that's something that they could have did after they either made the trade or decided what they wanted to do with Jimmy Butler, you
right.
know.
Right.
Like that's
And
something like that's a
mm,
big shot.
yeah, no, and to add on to what you said, Cat to me is very overrated, and I think a lot of people will feel the same way, and we know a lot of people will feel the same way. Cat is not a
Yeah.
bad player. He's a great player. He's a great young player too. He's very young, and up until this point he was very cheap. But now you're getting a lot. Now you're paying a lot of money to him. This is to the Timberwolves organization. You're paying a lot of money to him. So there's no more excuses of why you sold against the Rockets in the playoffs. You understand what I'm saying? Now you getting paid like a guy who should perform in the playoffs. So now you got to perform in the playoffs. The problem is before Jimmy Butler got there, they had a young core that was ready to compete in about 2 to 3 years. Now that Jimmy Butler is
Yeah.
there, right, and he's about to be gone, they don't have Chris Dunn anymore. They don't have Zach LaVine anymore, and that
Yeah, they
that can be
lost a lot to
crucial.
get him.
They lost a lot,
I
and that
mean,
can be crucial. You
especially
know,
Zach Levine. Zach Levine was playing an amazing. He was playing great before he
great
got.
basketball.
I think he tore. What did he tear? He tore something.
He
I
tore
think
his
he tore his
ACL, I think.
ACL or
Yeah,
something. Yeah, he tore his ACL. But before he tore that, he was playing great
yeah,
basketball. I mean,
yes,
especially being surrounded by what he had with him.
absolutely.
That was
And
amazing.
then when he went to the Bulls, it's like after he came back from the injury for the beginning of the season for the ACL injury, he played really well. And I think Chris Dunn started playing really well. And I think that
Yeah,
they also traded their draft pick, who ended up being Lauri Markkanen, and he's like the new Porzingis. The thing is,
yeah,
you just gave up somebody who could potentially be a Porzingis type of player. You gave up somebody who could potentially be a great two-way player in Chris Dunn, and an athletic beast in Zach LaVine for Jimmy Butler. And you know that was the right step for the franchise. If only you could persuade Jimmy Butler to stay. And
yeah.
the
I
immaturity of the
mean,
franchise and the
especially.
young guys, you know, that obviously caused
Mhm.
a rift between the Timberwolves organization and Jimmy Butler. Jimmy's a guy who wants to win. Cat and Tyus Jones and Andrew Wiggins, they probably feel like they got a couple more years, you know what I'm saying, of fun and getting money before they start really thinking about winning. But look at Melo. Melo had all the money. Melo had all the fun. You know, and he's the one left without a ring, him and CP. So we'll see how that goes. But you know, I think the Timberwolves did wrong by signing Cat to that extension so quick.
I mean, back to what you said. Like all the pieces they traded for Jimmy. I mean, those pieces. Like when they were all injured. Like a lot of them was injured. Like we said. Well, fucking Zach Levine came off his ACL injury, but
Mhm.
like, and the Bulls had a lot of injured pieces, and once they all came back,
Uh huh.
like they're a young team. They went on like a little win streak last season when
Yeah.
they all came back healthy and whatnot. I feel
Exactly.
like they have a because of this trade now. They just helped the Bulls get, and they have a bright future.
Oh, definitely. The
They
Bulls,
definitely do.
the Bulls to me, because before it was the Bulls, it was the Timberwolves. When you looked at them, you're like, whoa, they got a lot of pieces. Like
Yeah,
they got a lot of pieces, and
yeah.
it's just like sooner or later, you give it 5, you give it 4, you give it 3 years, and sooner or later that team is gonna be, you know, elite because young pieces are not always meant to shine now. They're a lot of development goes into the real young guys. Like when Chris Dunn came out of I want to say it was it wasn't Providence. Chris Dunn came out of, dang, this is crazy. It's embarrassing. I think it was Villanova. Um, well, when Chris Dunn came out of college, I seen the documentary of him on draft day. I didn't know who he was. I can't lie. And I watch a lot of college basketball. I didn't know who Chris Dunn was, but he started gaining more steam. You know, as the time went on, and I started seeing how good of a point guard he could be. I started looking back at old tape from him in high school. He's a great two-way player. He's a great two-way player. He may not have the scoring ability as some of the greats in this league, but he does play hard. He does play hard, and that's important. They had these pieces. Zach LaVine, like, dude, we've seen those dunk contests, bro. Like, those are the most exciting dunk contests we've seen since VC. You know what I'm saying? And we have to watch those shits on
Hmm.
tape. So, you understand?
Yeah.
So, they had a great core in Minnesota, and they took a chance. And that's what you're supposed to do. To win sooner, you got to take a chance. But the chance didn't work out. You see what the Raptors did with Kawhi? They gave up DeRozan. That was somebody who they had locked in for another 3 years after this last year, right? They got
Hmm.
Kawhi, somebody they only have wrapped up for this year. Toronto's job is not to only win this year, it's to sell Kawhi on winning for the next 3. You understand? And if they fail at that, that
Yeah.
means they failed as a franchise. Now they got to go into a rebuild. That's how tough it can be as a franchise to win. So I think the Timberwolves made a drastic mistake in trading for Jimmy Butler in the first place, but not only trading for him, for thinking for not thinking ahead in the future and thinking about long term with Jimmy Butler. I do think that,
Yeah.
that's going to be a hard mistake to correct, and I think Miami can reap the benefits of that trade.
I mean, and another thing is about the whole Jimmy Butler situation is, oh, like, Andrew Wiggins' brother comes out and says, what he said? I forgot what he said again. He tweeted out hallelujah, I think, right? He said hallelujah.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
so uncalled for.
yeah. It's like,
Like,
bro,
why?
yeah, and the thing is like, can it be somebody who's better's brother who's coming at Jimmy Butler? Because last time I
Yeah.
checked, Jimmy Butler was the reason why they were winning when they were winning last year, and Andrew Wiggins has still not developed into the player that you traded Kevin Love for. So Minnesota in this picture looks completely bad. You trade Kevin Love for Andrew Wiggins, right? You get Andrew Wiggins back. He doesn't develop as planned throughout the last 4 years. He hasn't developed as he should have been developing. Then you trade for Jimmy. You're trying to speed up the process of a rebuild, and when you do that, you make a lot of mistakes. I don't know,
I
man.
mean, they
It's
should
just
have let it get done naturally. Look at the Warriors. I mean, the Warriors have, of course, a lot of pieces, but the Warriors were a winning team based off their rebuild naturally. They had
not yeah,
Draymond, Clay,
exactly,
Curry. Like
exactly.
they had a naturally good team
These are people whose
before
ceilings,
they got these
they're
people.
like, so you know how when players come in the league, they have a floor and they have a ceiling. What would they be at their worst? What would they be at their best? And Draymond and
Hmm.
Clay and Steph, these guys' floor for a floor is really high. And that's why it didn't take too long. It didn't take many years for a rebuild to come happen. But let's not forget the Mark Jackson years. That was 3 straight years where they made the playoffs and got booted in the first round. They could have easily been the
Yeah.
Clippers franchise. The Clippers get booted in the first round every year. They could have easily been the Clippers franchise. But they switched to Steve Kerr. And a lot of people don't like giving Steve Kerr credit for the Warriors' success. But to me, I like Steve Kerr. He brought them together. He put it together. Mark Jackson got the pieces. Steve Kerr put the pieces together, and it's like a puzzle in the NBA. So, yeah, that team it did take quicker to win for that team, but it's not like they didn't go through growing pains because
Yeah.
going to the playoffs and winning games in the playoffs is two different things. Anybody can go to the playoffs. You gotta have a shit. This team's under 500 that goes to the playoffs. But when you
All
win
the time.
games, that
Yeah.
makes you a legit team. Winning games makes you a legit team. And when Golden State started winning games, and of course they added the fucking monstrous Kevin Durant, you know what I'm saying? It's GG's for the league, and that's what we all have to understand going into the season. Everybody always hopes in the middle of the season. Golden State having a bad streak right now. They having bad. Oh, Golden State's not gonna win this year. I can feel it. I can feel it. And then Golden State wins, and you're surprised. Don't be surprised, bro.
I mean, there's no
Don't be
reason to
surprised.
be surprised.
Exactly.
There's a clear difference between them and everybody else in the league.
Exactly.
I mean, a clear difference.
It's clear.
But
And now they add Boogie. Now they add Boogie at the 5. And it's like when you want to look at that starting lineup and the weakness is like, but last year you could point to who the center position, right? Because they was switching JaVale and Zaza, like a bunch of garbage players, like And now you like, oh, their weakness is center. No, it's not, because they have the best center in the league on their team, and that's scary in itself. You have the best shooter in the league, two of the best shooters in the league. You have like the best scorer in the league, and now you have the best center in the league all around. And you want to count defense, DeMarcus is not too bad defensively. He's really good. In fact, he's really good defensively, and his offensive skill, he's just only expanded each and every year. So that's gonna be a scary team to see this year. Good luck to LeBron and the Lakers, man. LeBron and the Lakers. How you feel? And let me ask you a question. How you feel about LeBron and the Lakers? Like that's a good one.
Let's get into that.
Yeah.
I mean, LeBron and the Lakers. I mean, it's not going to be a favorite opinion, and it's going to sound like a real bandwagon opinion, but I feel like I told you before. I feel like the Lakers have a better chance than any other team in the West to beating the Lakers because
the Warriors
of how my fault. I meant the Warriors. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can.
But they got a better chance of beating the Warriors for the simple fact, like, they got LeBron, who's played 4 straight series with these guys.
He's
however
trash,
many
bro.
it is.
He's trash.
That's crazy. Niggas is wild.
Look,
y'all hear this dumb shit?
Your opinion matters
listen,
when you're not talking about LeBron. Like, come on.
Bro. LeBron has played however many series against them straight in the finals. I mean, he knows what it takes to beat them. Everyone's gonna say it's the Rockets, but the Rockets haven't beat them. The Rockets don't know what it takes to beat them because they can't. They haven't done it yet.
On a game that in the series that me and you was watching closely, as I rooted for Golden State. I mean, the Rockets came pretty damn close. They came one CP3 away from winning that Western Conference Finals. I will give you something. I do think the Lakers should be favored, like as the best team, not favored against the Warriors, because nobody should be in their right mind favored against the Warriors, but they should be the favorite of any team that can actually compete and beat the Warriors. Like LeBron. It's not just LeBron there. I forgot who said. I want to say it was Skip Bayless who said it, but LeBron has a bunch of playmakers around him now, in which he don't really have to do much, and they're young playmakers. That means their legs are fresh. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot different than It's a lot different than playing with Channing Frye and George Hill. You feel me? Guys who've been in the league since the Stone Age. Like it's really it's different when you play with a guy like Zoe. You know, Zoe just came in the league last year, and it's different when you play like with a guy like Kuzma, an underdog who got a chip on his shoulder. LeBron can appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody can understand the expectation that LeBron had coming into this league. There's nobody who's kind of faced that criticism, who will ever face that
Yeah.
criticism that LeBron has faced. But now he's on a team with a bunch of young guys who Lonzo has faced his fair share of criticism from his father, guys that who are younger than him, but he could kind of relate to. I think LeBron has real success in Los Angeles. Not the reason
Ooh,
why he came. Basketball was not the reason why he came to Los Angeles. It was to further his
definitely not.
business ventures. But
Mhm.
LeBron, if he plays his cards the right way, and if they can get somebody real next year, like a Kawhi or a Kyrie, or I
And
doubt
AD,
that, but or
even
AD, like
AD would be
or
definitely the
you know,
perfect fit.
or here's one that the media is saying is not really likely, but here's one that can be Jimmy Butler. LeBron and Jimmy Butler will be deadly.
Or
That would be a deadly duo. So just putting everything aside, I think LeBron can have real life success on the Lakers and not just come here for business. He can come here to build his legacy and finally cement his legacy as the greatest player of all time, surpassing Michael Jordan. He can do that in LA if he plays his cards right. So I think LeBron, they do have the best chance to beat the Warriors this year, and I think LeBron, if he has the right pieces next year, he may actually have a shot. So
like I
um,
mainly say that they got the best chance for the simple fact that, like you said, they got all these young playmakers around them. Which with the fresh legs, that's hustle. Like
exactly
that's all I see. Especially when you're playing against the Warriors. Every little fuck up the Warriors make, you gotta be on that. You
on that, on
every
that.
single one. Mind you, they don't make many, but if you want to win that game, you want to win that series, you gotta make the best. You gotta play a perfect game. And
Perfect.
seeing that they're younger, and if a loose ball gets out there, you got to go get that. There's
And the thing,
no
what's so
ifs,
scary?
ands, or buts about it.
Exact. What's so scary about the Warriors, however, is one play can change the game. And you've seen those last three games in Houston, or the last two rather,
Yeah.
where Houston had big leads at halftime. I'm talking about 10, 12 point leads. And it may not be the biggest, but it's something that you can build on after the second half. All you got to do is hold it. You know what I'm saying? And the Warriors get 1-3, and they'll get 1-3, and that should have sparked a whole run from them. And now,
Nah,
next thing
nah,
you
it's
know, you're
not the
down by.
Warriors. It's Curry gets 1-3 at halftime, and
Hey,
after the half, and it
hey,
goes off.
my
It's
father taught
whatever.
me well, so I know my dad. When he gets that 1-3, he gets started, bro. So, look, Stephen Curry, I got your back. That's my guy right there. That's my guy right there. My favorite player in the league. Not a Warriors fan, not a bandwagon jumper. Just appreciate great basketball. Think that team is going to be really hard to beat. However, here's a shocker, Ty. I think KD leaves next season, and I think this year is the last year that the Warriors can actually win a chip. And I think this is the last year they will win a chip. Then I think it's
I
LeBron's time in
mean,
LA.
I don't think that it depends on where KD goes. I don't think it's the last time they win a chip, but if KD does leave, where do you think he'd go?
LA. I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense. Not too far of a move, and you get to play with LeBron before his career is over. And that's all
But
anybody
like I
really
feel
wants.
you, but if LeBron plays at a high level this season and continues that in the next season, do you? I, me personally, I feel like he's gonna go and try and get maybe another MVP somewhere else by himself to
Oh,
show that he can do it.
and I want to say Kevin Durant will do that, but I feel like he's a guy who listens to critics too much. And if he goes to a team by himself, right?
And that's
Let's say
why I
he
think
even
he would
tries to
do
explore.
that.
Let's say he tries to explore. Obviously this would make me a happy guy, but let's say he tries to explore the Knicks, right? You go to the Knicks, right?
Hmm.
Generally by yourself. You got Porzingis, right, who's a star in the league, who has potential to be a real superstar in this league, but they're favorites. So KD can go and lift that team to a chip, and that will be his chip. But I feel like KD is a guy who listens to the critics too much, and I really can't depend on KD to say, look, I want to get my own chip. Because once he starts losing a couple years in that new team, KD's the problem. KD can't take that kind of criticism. That's why he left the first time. He can't take the criticism. So I want to say, I hope he comes to the Knicks. God bless him if he comes to the Knicks, but I say Lakers. And I say that team right there will go on to win chips on chips on chips. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, but seven. Let's get it. How you feel about that?
That nigga said 7. I mean, they'll definitely win an unbelievable amount of chips if KD goes there. Like, what would he play? Play power forward? The fuck? I don't know what the fuck he played,
It don't
but
matter. It's positionless basketball, and that's the
yeah,
good part. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, him being 7 foot, I mean, he can play whatever position that they want to put him at, and he'll still be an elite player. And I feel like that would definitely help because, like, they're the only, and at that point, if he does go, they're the only team that would even compete with them is still going to be the Warriors.
And next year, it may not be the big superstar guy that joins LeBron in LA. It can be one of the guys from Golden State who nobody expected, and that's Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is one of the better
Yeah.
two-way players in the league. Nobody gives him credit for two-way player. They give him credit for shooting. You know, and he's a great shooter,
Yeah,
so
I
they should
heard
give him credit
that.
for that. So
I've seen that. Like, I've seen reports that they're going to target KD this offseason and let go of Klay, which I don't know how true that is because I don't really trust reports like I told you the other day.
if I was
But
Golden State, knowing KD's mentality and the fact that he even joined y'all in the first place, which is good for y'all, but you know, you ever see that ex who cheats on you, or not even your new girlfriend who cheats on you, right? Or boom, better yeah,
mhm,
I got one girl right here, right? You're chasing this girl, right? She got a boyfriend, right? And she
mhm,
leaves her boyfriend for you, right?
mhm.
What makes you think she won't do that to you? And that's the same thing that you got to worry about with
Yeah,
KD. KD left out
yeah.
on a team that's been loyal to him and in a city that he's been loyal to for at that point, which was eight
His
years,
whole
I believe.
career.
Yeah, his whole career.
Well, yeah, his
And
whole career at that point.
exactly, so and he left that team without even hesitation. I mean, he went to Golden State. I'm sure that was the team he was gonna pick once free agency started. He just wasn't saying. But he'll do the same thing to the Warriors once he gets a chance. I think for the Warriors, their best bet is to keep Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is not no slouch, and you see what he can do when he goes off for big points. Like, he goes off for big points. You know what I'm saying? 30 in a
Yeah.
quarter type shit. You ain't never see that. We ain't never see that. He broke the record for points in a quarter. We ain't never seen that. And Klay with his threes, he's a game changer in a different way than Durant is. Durant could change the game with the ball in his hands. Klay can't. But I still keep Klay for teammate chemistry with Steph. They've been doing a great, phenomenal job even before KD's gotten there. So, and when they were one game away, not even one game, one shot away from winning two in a row without KD. So
Mhm.
I feel that way.
So you definitely think they win this year and KD takes his talents to Los
To
Angeles?
Los Angeles, to the Hollywood with Braun. Man, look, LeBron and
I
KD,
mean, it makes sense.
it
It
do
makes
it does because look, the two best players linking up. Ain't nobody gonna say shit about it no more. KD's done snake shit before. This is just be another snake thing he's done, and it wouldn't even be real snake shit because the Golden State Warriors understand that they're not gonna be able to keep every single person in that core on that team,
Yeah,
no
they
matter
don't have
how
money for it.
they don't have there's no team in the league that has the amount of money and KD and Steph and Clay, they're not gonna be willing to take minimums, my nigga. Like that's
Yeah,
dead, you
especially
know.
as many pay cuts as KD's taken the first two seasons. I
Exactly,
know
and that
he took a
and,
couple of them already.
and
So
Steph has taken pay cuts in his whole career, you know. So
yeah,
and a guy like D Wade who's done it his whole career as well. Like D Wade, I'm sure D Wade until just recently when he went to the Bulls, he wasn't getting big paydays, bro. Like D Wade was probably the most underrated the
yeah, I've seen
underpaid
that.
player in the league.
Yeah,
So
he like Tyler sent me a post that he's never been the highest paid player on his team
on his team, not even.
ever.
And look, and
That's ridiculous,
the
bro.
only player I could arguably say was better than him on any team he's been on is LeBron. So the
LeBron,
fact that
yeah.
when Braun wasn't there, he was still the lowest paid player is ridiculous. But it also shows how Pat Riley manages money in a great way. You know what I'm saying? They in football they say the best time to go get it to build a team is when your quarterback is on his rookie deal. You understand? And just think about it. D Wade was playing on his rookie deal for about 3 years. That was about to 06, 07. You know what I'm saying?
Which
They
I feel like at that point, why doesn't he get the check?
the
Because
the Mets because they had just won a chip. You know what I'm saying? They had just
yeah,
won a
they
chip.
just won the chip, and he only after that he only gets better. He has his best season in '09, where he averages 30 points. He doesn't win MVP, but he's in the talk, you
But
know.
he's in the top
So
exactly, and
like,
that's all that matters. And really, winning games is all that matters. But for D Wade, I think it was more of a
yeah,
personal thing. I want to continue winning championships. D Wade has had success and by himself winning championships. You know, albeit with Shaq and
LeBron,
Lonzo was still there,
LeBron.
right? Gary Payton was still there, right? I'm talking about the '06 one.
You said Lonzo, my God.
No, my
You
bad.
talking about
I'm talking about D Wade. D Wade.
Gary Payton? I know they had Jason Williams.
They had Alonzo Mourning. They had Alonzo Mourning. They had
Yeah,
They had a lot of
Who
pieces,
did they have? Yeah,
but
they had a lot of veteran pieces.
they were old though. You know what I'm saying? Old guys who can
Yeah.
win now, but are still really freaking old. So
Yeah,
they've
like I
had
mean, that team only averaged in the finals. That team only averaged 50 some points without Dwayne Wade.
exactly.
So may they say it be rigged or whatever. I mean, that's still one of the greatest finals performances of all time.
You know, and so that right there shows to me what kind of man D Wade is off the court, because he's probably willingly took pay cuts for his team to be competitive. You know what I'm saying? So, damn.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Oh, you bitch.
this basketball season should be really interesting coming up, and
And
I'm
definitely,
very
especially
excited for
seeing
this.
Dwayne Wade. Speaking of Dwayne Wade, him on his farewell tour, which is something I want to actually make a segment about. We'll probably make that a segment when the season starts. I want to wait for the
Hey,
season to start for that.
I'm gonna tell you like this, Tyler.
Hmm.
He ain't Kobe. Alright? Like Draymond told
Yo,
Paul Pierce. He ain't Kobe.
no, Paul Pierce ain't Dwayne Wade. Fuck up Paul Pierce.
Look. What nickname would you rather have, the Flash or the Truth?
The
He ain't
Flash, nigga.
Kobe. So
The Flash.
let me remind you. So so when he played the Warriors, I'm expecting that same energy from Draymond. You want to come at the Truth like that? Come at the Flash like that. Yeah, he ain't Kobe, but D Wade, he was damn close. Not in numbers and not in legacy, but he was damn close in terms of being an all-out hard-working player. D Wade
Yeah,
deserves everything he's gonna get in the farewell tour, and he's gonna be well missed in this league. No, because
that's a
the
fact.
league changed. The league changed a little bit. It went from Jordan and Bird, and it went to Braun and Melo and Wade and and those guys. And before that, it was Ewing and Hakeem and those guys. But I can't say I've seen a better generation. Although I haven't been in every generation, I can't say I've seen a better generation than the generation we got now. A bunch of good guys. Put
Yeah,
basketball
and they're all
aside.
friends. Yeah, they are.
Exactly. Exactly, and that matters. I'm down 4 with 22 seconds left. I ain't even know.
You know what I'm saying? I'm out here going crazy.
Are you serious?
Oh, I hate that fucking animation too.
But
Well,
yeah,
I
yep.
want to add a couple. We're gonna add a couple more subjects here because we're only 50 minutes in. We still got time. I want to talk about fuck. I just forgot what I wanted to talk about. Fuck. All right, fuck it. We're gonna switch back to football, and right now let's talk about what's your Super Bowl predictions this year. We're
Whoa,
we're
Super Bowl
and we're
prediction.
going into week 4.
Uh huh.
You see how everyone's playing so far. Who do you think the Super Bowl? Who's gonna be in the Super Bowl?
Oh, this is a hard one, bro. This is really a hard one. This is really a hard one.
Yeah, I
Um.
ain't even let you plan for this one. Shit, I ain't playing for it.
Uh. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say the Saints. I'm
Hmm.
gonna say the Saints versus. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard because I've had teams in the AFC who I've looked at, and I'm just really not impressed with the overall. I'm gonna say the Saints versus the Chiefs. This far in the league, I've seen Drew Brees play spectacular with Michael Thomas and these guys. I've seen Drew Brees play spectacular, but on the other side, man, not only is Patrick Mahomes playing out of his damn mind, but the Kansas City Chiefs defense is playing really well as well. And I think their worst game this year was against the Steelers, but you expect to give up a lot of points to that team.
Yeah.
I think
Hit this three, bro. Hit this three. I'm gonna let you hit it. Who you hitting it with? Who you hitting it with?
Tim
That nigga
Hardaway.
right there. I got you.
Yeah.
Got you. That's a 2. That's tough. But anyways, continue.
What? So no, I think that with the offensive pieces that Patrick Mahomes has around him, Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt, Chris Conley, Travis Kelce, they have a chance to make a run. Unlike in the past with Alex Smith, who lives and die on the short ball and the intermediate balls. He can't throw the ball deep. And something Mahomes does really well is no matter the position the defensive line puts him in, he knows how to rip that ball for big yards, and he has guys who can catch the ball for big yards, i.e. Tyreek Hill and Kareem Hunt. So I think my Super Bowl predictions right now is different from the beginning of the season. Beginning of the season, I had the Rams versus Patriots, not quite happening, I don't think. So yeah, I'm gonna go Saints versus Chiefs. What about you, bro? Tell me who you looking
Me,
at right now.
I'm gonna agree on the Saints part for the simple fact that the Saints are well. Drew Brees is playing out of his fucking mind so far.
Yeah.
Like for real, he's been playing an amazing game of basketball or basketball. Yeah, right. Football. He's been playing an amazing game. I mean, he's
Making it
putting
look like
up
basketball
career
too.
numbers.
The kind of
Yeah,
points they
they
putting
really
up.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're putting up crazy points, and his throwing percentage is out of this fucking world. I mean, it'd be nice to see him make another one just so he can get his name. Because Drew Brees is one of the most underrated, greatest quarterbacks of all time. Him winning another Super Bowl probably put his name up a little bit more. It'd be great to see him win.
Mhm.
Granted, he won the first one against my favorite quarterback, but he
Hey,
deserves more talk than he gets.
me and you
And him
both.
maybe winning the second Super Bowl, getting another Super Bowl MVP maybe will help him out or something because he
Yeah, because
definitely
he doesn't.
deserves to
He
be talked about a lot more.
exactly. He doesn't get the credit. Yeah, you're right. You're right about this. He doesn't get the credit he deserves. He doesn't get the
Yeah,
credit
he
he
really
deserves
doesn't.
for being the kind of quarterback that he's always been. So, like, yeah, I think another Super Bowl will cement his legacy, and I think it's already cemented right now. Drew Brees is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and his story is really weird from his early days in the NFL when he was with the Chargers and they traded him. You know, and arguably he's better than Philip Rivers. So I like to, talk
Well,
to that
Philip
chart.
Rivers is a great regular season quarterback. I mean, he hasn't really done anything in the postseason to
But if I
really
told you
prove anything
now,
to anyone.
if
But
I told you now the postseason success of Drew Brees, and you're the San Diego at the time San Diego Chargers
yeah,
GM, if I told you like in 10 years Drew Brees will have a chip and playoff success with the Saints, would you then go trade him? You know what I'm saying? If
yeah,
you
you
would be,
definitely wouldn't.
you know exactly, and you'll look at that a little differently. But to me, I think at that point it was way too hard for the Chargers GM to make that kind of decision. Philip Rivers, a guy they just drafted, or Drew Brees, a guy who's been in the league a couple years longer than Philip Rivers, just has never really had success. And it's crazy how somebody's career can turn around like that. Drew Brees, from a guy who didn't really have success from 2002 to 2005, has been literally the greatest regular season quarterback. After Peyton Manning since that point on, since 2005
Yeah.
on. So Drew
Well,
Brees and who's the team you got facing the Saints in the Super Bowl? I'm excited
I
to hear it.
have, I would say, the Saints versus the Jaguars.
Whoa, you sure?
Uh, yeah, I'd say the Jaguars because I mean they have a very easy schedule coming up, so them making the playoffs is going to be a no-brainer. They have the best defense in the league. I mean, the only game they've lost this season was a nail biter with the Titans. Come on, it wasn't even no one got a touchdown. Well, no one got more than 10 points. It was 6-3. I mean, they got a good chance. You know what I'm saying?
I think that
I feel
defense
like they
really
got
does
a
give them a good
good team.
chance.
Yeah, the defense. Defensively, that's it. I mean, offensively, they don't really have a good quarterback. The only time the quarterback they go is against the weak ass Patriots.
We don't fuck with
So
that team over here on this side. So I think Blake
you
Bortles is
feel
the
me?
greatest quarterback ever for beating the Patriots. And
Yeah,
but you asked me, look, all jokes aside, Blake Bortles is a formidable quarterback. He's not gonna put up the big numbers, but he can lead you to a win if the play calling is right. So I do think that Jaguars have a really good chance, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Jaguars and Chiefs in that AFC Championship game. And in fact, that's what I would love to
yeah.
see because as a
I
fan of
mean,
the
I mean, they
game,
play in a couple. I think they're playing a couple of weeks. Let me see. What do they play? Continue. Go and talk.
no,
I'm about to
as a
see when
fan
they play.
of the game, you want to see the best teams play off against each other. And although I'm a Jets fan, I know the Jets are a couple years away at least from being competitive again. But they're in a step in the right direction. But I want to see the Chiefs versus Jaguars in that AFC Championship game.
For
Really feel like that could be
schedule.
a great defensive
Oh
matchup.
yeah, yeah. The Chiefs and the Jaguars play next week. After they play y'all, they play the Chiefs. So, I
Okay.
mean, that'd be a great game to see Patrick Mahomes against
Yeah,
the best defense in the league. See him
exactly.
still put up those numbers. If he still puts up those numbers, then
You
I'll
gotta
come
say
to
he's
your
real.
side and be like, "Oh
You gotta
shit,
say he's real. And Patrick
this
Mahomes,
nigga ain't playing."
look, if this was his rookie year doing this, I wouldn't believe the hype because during your
Yeah,
rookie year is a lot of up and down moments as a team. But that kind of team that they put around Patrick Mahomes after he sat a year behind Alex Smith, there's no
you
way
use
that
the
he can't
Lakers. Who you
succeed
using?
long term. I'm using Spurs. There's no way that he can't succeed long term in the league. Like like the way he throws that ball and his natural arm talent matched up with the team that they put around him after for him succeeding Alex Smith, I think there's no way they can't win. Um, Let me ask you some questions. Let me tell you
Mhm.
about some stuff. I got a couple topics that's been on my mind. And
Go ahead. I mean, we got time.
okay. So I've been wanting to know about this. You know what I'm saying? It's one of America's, most favorite, it's America's team, bro. And you know where I'm getting at right now. The Cowboys have started one
Cowboys. Yeah.
1-2. You know what I'm saying? Their win against the Giants really is not, you know,
That
very
doesn't count.
impressive. They could have
That doesn't count.
with
They
that
could
the
have
way that
lost that
defensive
game.
exactly the way that defensive
You
line was
know.
playing, they should have won that game by 30 if you ask me. But you know, how do you feel? How do you feel about the state of the Cowboys and where they can be heading and how they can improve on this 1-2 start?
Well, like we said before, I mean, Dak Prescott is not the right quarterback for the job. I don't think, for the simple fact that he doesn't have the greatest arm strength. He doesn't have the greatest long ball. He's more
Hmm.
of a short ball. Like he does short passes. That's his specialty.
And
I
sometimes not even
mean,
that.
their offensive specialty is literally Ezekiel Elliott, and once you get behind, because their defense is decent, I'll give them that. It's not the greatest, but it's decent. So
Okay.
I think that if you want to do anything, they're going to need a better wide receiving core, and they're going to need a new quarterback. I feel like for this season, the best thing to do is, I mean, I've seen a lot of people suggesting them bring back Dez, which wouldn't be a bad idea because Dez Bryant brings that energy to the game that they need, because they literally look like, when they're on the sideline, they don't look like they want to play.
Hey, yeah, and the
They,
thing is about Dez, not only did he bring energy, and the energy that they said was bad, it was looking like the energy that they kind of needed. That
yeah,
Dez
it's
bring, that kind
energy,
of
and it's
fire.
energy in general. They don't have energy at all right now.
But he also poses a deep ball threat for Dak Prescott. When Dak can get, we've seen when Dak had the time and the play calling was right, he can get the ball deep a little bit. He got that ball deep to Tavon Austin in the beginning of that Giants game. So he can get the ball
Yeah.
deep if he puts his mind to it. If he got an open receiver, really. But Des Bryant, I haven't completely closed my mind off to Des Bryant coming back for the Cowboys because that right there will give him something, a possession receiver. And Des is not, washed up. He's not washed up. It may
No,
appear that way, but he's
not
not
at
washed
all.
up. And
I mean, he's
the
definitely not the same Dez that they had 4 or 5 years
for
ago,
right,
but
exactly,
he's
because
not washed.
That Des was game changing. Des is not game changing anymore, but he does pose a different threat than these guys that the Cowboys have now. A lot of them are short yardage
Yeah.
receiver, trick play guys like Tavon Austin, Cole Beasley. So he don't really have a dependable tight end. They got this guy Rico Gathers. He was a basketball player for Baylor for a couple years. Not really a true
Hmm.
NFL player. So, like they lack weapons on the offensive side. Their weapon that they need to exploit that they haven't been doing enough is Zeke. He's their only weapon on offense.
Yeah.
And
He need, bro, this week for them to win, they gotta, if they win, they gotta show me him moving the ball. He has to get at least
is
at
gr-
least
is ground and pound,
25
run and
carries.
gun, run and gun. You feel me? When you run the ball, give him fuck 25 for the whole game. I want to see 25 first half type shit because when he runs the ball, your team becomes a better team. Play action is available for Dak Prescott. He plays better off of play action. He really does play better off of play action because everything opens
Hmm.
up just a little bit more where he can get tight holes, where he can fit through things through no homo. Like so, like just in general, you know what I'm saying? The Cowboys have to run the ball a lot more and stick with Zeke to lead this offense instead
Yeah,
of
I mean,
Dak.
he's by far the best player they have. I mean, the first season that he played in the league, he made Dak Prescott literally. He made Dak Prescott look good. I mean, he's not out there completing the passes for him, but I mean, with him being a threat as he was, like
Hmm.
Dak Prescott has a little less pressure on him.
Right.
I
Just
mean,
yeah, exactly. When you got your running back running the ball really well, and we'll get to this later. Tonight's a Thursday night game. We will be watching, and we will come directly to you with analysis tomorrow. So
yeah.
tune into that stream, around five o'clock. We stream usually at 5 o'clock. Today we had to do it a little earlier just for personal issues. But we stream usually at 5 o'clock. It should be from 5 to 7 on weekdays. So just tune in. Make sure you tune into that. And I haven't thrown in a plug for our YouTube channel yet. So like, comment, subscribe to Uncensored Sports. Also like, comment, subscribe on any video you see on by Ty the Goat, capital T, capital T, capital G, and Novocaine Gaming. You Tyler, you put the links in the description, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a description today and add the links and everything. I didn't do it yesterday because we streamed so late and
Yeah,
we were doing
exactly.
other stuff after
So
we
yeah,
streamed. So
the links will eventually be in the description. So whenever you do see the links in the description, and you check that out, make sure you subscribe to our channels and you comment every day. Let us know what we need to improve on. Let us know what we did really well. Any criticism, any criticism is good criticism. Just let us know how we can improve
and
on
if
making this
even
a
if
better
you
show for you
wanted to,
guys.
even
Right.
if you guys wanted to chime in after, say we stop streaming and you guys watch after we stream, if you guys want to chime in afterwards, you can. I'll probably read the comments. I'll probably tell Brett, and we'll probably both get in there
Yeah,
and
exactly. Hell yeah.
both give our reply to that.
Of course. And the thing about this channel is that unlike other channels when they're streaming and they don't really like to communicate with their audience, this is what we warrant. This is what we need. This is what we
Yeah,
want. We want you guys to get in the conversation, because without conversation, without debate, there's really no good sport conflict, and that's what we need. We need more sport debates. Just take our
yeah.
time away from the streets and take our time away from the unnecessary in our life, and let's talk about some good sports. I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends, a lot of Ty's friends, they love sports. So this is a platform for you to really say how you feel and to be heard from us and the rest of the viewers watching. So we warrant that. We want you guys to speak to us. And yeah, tonight's Thursday night football, Ty, and
Well, before
tonight.
we get into Thursday night football, seeing that we
Oh,
talked about Dez, I want to get back into Dez. Recently, Dez Bryant said that Patrick Mahomes looks like he's going to be the MVP this season. How do you feel about that? Like, why do you feel about that statement?
Patrick, I agree. I agree. Right now, look, right now it's way too early to have MVP standings and MVP. But Patrick
Mm,
Mahomes has shown me the kind of poise and the kind of arm talent that was once seen by a guy with my name. His name was Brett Favre, the guy who, the original gunslinger. He really threw that ball, and he threw the leather off that shit. Like, and I think
yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is cut from the same cloth as Brett Favre. That kind of tough, rugged guy. He don't look it. He looks like a. I think it was you who showed me it. He looks like Riley Curry. You understand what I'm saying? So he don't really necessarily look his part, but he plays his part, and that's what matters. And that's what really matters. that's what, and that's what really matters. That he plays his part. He don't gotta look tough. He plays tough, and he
Yeah.
has the arm talent. So I agree with this. I agree with this. How you feel about that comment from Des Bryant?
I mean, like you said, it's too early to really talk about it, but I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are also in that conversation. I mean, like you said, it's still early. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, they could all jump in the conversation, but right now, it's really him, Drew Brees, definitely,
Hmm.
because Drew Brees has been playing out of his mind this season.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but I gotta say, like you said, you agree, because he has been playing. Like the man has 13 touchdowns in 3 games. That's
The
crazy.
the best part, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't recall seeing any
He
on any.
hasn't thrown a pick. Yeah,
A
he
pick.
hasn't
See,
thrown a pick.
that's what I'm talking about. I haven't seen any on his stat sheet. He hasn't thrown a pick yet. That's important. Ball security is important. And you're asking a Jets fan, whose rookie quarterback has thrown 5 interceptions up to this point. Ball security is
Hmm.
more important than a lot of aspects of football. And Patrick Mahomes, once you get that down, you can take off with everything else, the mental aspect, everything else that comes with it. So, yeah, I think Dez is correct on that analysis, and I also think that it's too much time left to say if he is gonna win. But I think right now he's definitely the front runner to win MVP if there was at this point, which I don't really think there is. But
Yeah.
I'm playing devil's advocate. So let's get to
You want to
let's
get to
get to
Thursday
tonight.
night
Yeah, let's get to
football?
tonight Thursday night game. I've been excited to talk about this one. Two great defenses.
Minnesota versus the Rams.
Two great defenses, man. This is what football fans love to see, especially the football fans who I associate myself with them, real football fans. A defensive battle is always the best game because you can see an opponent's weakness is like a chess match. So this week we have another two great defenses, much like last week with the Browns and the Jets. We have the Rams and the Vikings, two defenses on the upper echelon of defenses in the league. Along, you can put them
Yeah.
up there with the Jaguars. Star power all throughout, bro. Star power all throughout that Rams defense. And
Yeah.
And I
I think the
just,
Rams definitely have the best defensive line in the league.
oh yeah, Aaron
I don't know
Donald
if
and Dom
you'll
Ginsu.
agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh man, I agree. Hell yeah, I agree. Hey, them or the Jaguars, and I want to say that the Rams pose different threats than other teams, and this is why I put them in. This is why I had them in my Super Bowl prediction at the beginning of the year, until I see the way the Saints are playing this year, and it's like, look, that passing attack might be a little too much. But reason why I see the Rams in my Super Bowl is because offensively, they have the kind of recipe to win. They throw when they need to off play action. They have guys who can catch off play action, deep balls like Brandon Cooks and Cooper Kupp. And what they have most importantly is a running back who can carry the load. Todd Gurley,
Mhm.
MVP finalist last year, he has
Yeah.
put the Rams on his back and that offense on his back, along with the offensive line play that they've got, which has been spectacular. Todd Gurley has played really well and exceptional, and he has given a different threat to this Rams that they haven't had in the past. Not since Marshall Faulk. So I think that right there, saying that, I say that to say this basically. That defense of the Vikings, after the showing they gave against the Bills, has to contain Todd Gurley and that play action
Yeah.
of the Minnesota of the St. Louis offense. But let me get to this. How I'm talking about how the Vikings have to stop the play action and the run of the Vikings. I think the Vikings, in order to win this game offensively, they have to get a little bit more back to that Adrian Peterson kind of style. When they'll rush the ball with him for 30 times a game, and depend on whoever his quarterback was at the time, Christian Ponder and the plethora of quarterbacks that they've had.
Yeah. Yeah. They
Like,
ran through quarterbacks
yeah,
left and right.
exactly.
It was sad.
They let those quarterbacks run through play action a lot. So I think that if they play like that, if they play like that, it will be a successful game for the Vikings because Kirk Cousins is able to make those plays off the play action. He has a really good arm. Not saying that they should put less responsibility in Kirk Cousins' hands, but they should put a little bit more into Dalvin Cook. I trust Dalvin Cook as a running back. I used to watch him at Florida State University. I trust him in what he can do for the Vikings in their backfield. Like I said yesterday in my weekly picks, I got the Vikings winning this game because I feel like their defense needs it more for their morale and more for their upcoming games and just to try to get a rhythm. But I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
be
agree on
surprised if the
that.
Rams win this game, and if the Rams win it by a lot, I wouldn't be surprised either. And it's kind of a weird logic. So, how you feel about this game on Thursday night, which we
No, I
both will be
definitely.
watching together?
Yeah, we'll definitely be watching this. I definitely agree that the Vikings need it more, but I don't think that's going to change the fact that I think the Rams are going to win it. I
Okay.
mean, I mean that's like losing to the Bills is a very big confidence killer. Especially seeing that the Bills have the Bills gave up 78 points in their first two NFL games. 78 points
Hey, at
in
least at
two
least
games, and you guys can't score more than whatever they score. I think they scored
they scored
27.
they scored 27, and they shouldn't have
Yeah,
scored that. And like I said, a lot of that
agreed.
is in
Especially
large
the
part due to
defense.
Josh Allen. Josh Allen played well that game, but that defense got to play better, and that's simple. It comes down to that, right? Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah,
Like,
I
so
completely agree.
like that
I mean
defense
that
has to
doesn't
show up.
change, but that doesn't change the fact that they let a team that is allowed 78 points beat them. I mean that's ridiculous. Um,
Look, there's no excuse, bro. Like you're completely right. There's no excuse if you let the Bills beat you. I think you should leave the NFL. Look, the Bills, the Bills make their own players want to quit. So I mean, Vontae Davis, shout out to him. Like this is the kind of team that you lose. That's not the kind of team you lose to, especially if you're a good, how you say it, a great ran organization like Minnesota. They from top to bottom, from ownership to GM to head coach, they have quality and people in their organization. Mike Zimmer is a wonderful head coach. So and Kirk Cousins is the guy that they needed. He's an upgrade from Case Keenum, and to me, the difference is not that much. Kirk Cousins is average to good, and Case Keenum is bad to average. So it's not a huge difference, but I do think Kirk Cousins pulls out the win today. Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen are going to be way too much to handle for that St. Louis secondary who's missing Marcus Peters and Akeem Talib this week. So I think the Vikings pull away with this one, but that defensive line of the St. Louis is going to get up in Kirk Cousins' face and make it hard for him to make throws. I think that's when you rely on Dalvin Cook a little bit more. But it should be a great game tonight. Like I said, me and Ty the GOAT will be watching that game together.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this is definitely a key game of the week.
Of the week, yeah.
This is probably the best game all week. I'm not gonna lie.
And may I say, kudos to Thursday Night Football on Fox, because last year the Thursday Night Football games was horrible. They scheduled them horrible. It was horrible teams playing horrible teams. It was like good teams playing bad teams. It was never a real game where you could see a good team playing a good team. But you know, the producers at Fox and they blessed us with great games in the NFL for making the schedule. They blessed us with great games on these Thursday nights. You know, last week we thought it was going to be a stinker, and that's my team. And it ended up being a really good game that went down to the wire. You know, shout out to Baker Mayfield for making that happen. So, you know, look, bro, it's about that damn time. So, it's about that damn time to watch some good quality football, bro.
Good God forbid he doesn't jinx us and it's not a blowout. God forbid.
So, bro, but I think it's gonna be an exciting week in football. I can't wait for the basketball. For when the basketball season comes on, guys, we got so much in store for you guys. We're gonna be doing actual.
The show's gonna be way more.
You know,
like
it's gonna be way more.
Off the head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right now, yeah, we're kind of improvising right now. But when basketball season starts, we'll have our shit together, and not only that, we'll know how to get into certain topics. You know, but right now we're just starting, and like I said, like I always have to remind you guys, we appreciate everybody who comes out and supports us and who watches the stream even for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not used to getting that kind of support, and we're getting it now, and we want to thank everybody, especially C's, to my girl,
Kendera, definitely
everybody who's been sharing, everybody who's posted. Like I just seen my boy JET. Shout out to JET, bro, because these guys know what I've been wanting to do my whole life, and I finally found my brother Tyler, bro. Like, it's my brother for real, to help me out with this dream and to help us out accomplish our dreams for real, because this is a team thing, and we're gonna get somewhere with this, and we truly believe it. And all we need is for you guys to believe in us, and we'll bring good content to you. Just tell us what we're doing wrong. Like I said, that's essential. Show us what we're doing wrong so we can help improve the stream for you guys to have a better watch every day. Some days when there's a lot of stuff going on in sports, we're gonna have longer streams. You know, obviously, you know, we will go up to 2 hours some days. Some days it'll be like today where
go past that.
Right, exactly. Maybe even go past that. And then some days it's gonna be like today where last night wasn't as so eventful. You know, a lot of guys don't know about baseball, so we can't really go into that. But during the postseason, I'm sorry, but y'all niggas gonna have to hear me talk about baseball, and y'all gonna like it. Alright? Y'all gonna like it. So that's starting next week. Yeah, Tyler gonna be going to sleep. He gonna get as much needed sleep at that point. But
at that point, that's a fact.
Tyler,
but there is one more topic that I want to talk about. Cause remember, I said I got a topic at the end of the stream that I wanted to use before. Cause we're not one-dimensional, y'all. We're not only gonna talk about sports. We're mainly sports. I'll give y'all that. It's gonna be mainly sports. That's why it's called Uncensored Sports.
I like where this is going.
I want to know how Wayne and Ye is dropping albums this week. What do you feel about those?
Hey, I don't care about none of them. All right. You show me when Eminem drop an album, I'll listen.
That's crazy.
Nah, let me stop. Ojo side. The Carter 5 is coming out, right? Hey, I'm right.
It comes out at midnight. It comes out at midnight.
And when that lighter flick, nigga, when that lighter flick, I'm gonna be gone. Like, I'm gonna be listening to that album. Fact. I'm gonna be listening to that.
Yeah,
Carter 5.
Tomorrow I want to come out here. with the Carter 5 review. I'm gonna have someone else that is also a Wayne fan. It's gonna be me, Threat, and someone else is also a Wayne fan. Come on the show. And talk about how he felt about it.
Oh yeah.
It's not Tyler, but look. Get Tyler on here too.
Look, we welcome anybody who wants to come on this show and just talk about it. Like, we can talk about it. You join. We make a party on PlayStation, and you come talk about how you feel about these topics. Wayne, like shit. Wayne hasn't dropped something in I don't know how long.
Yeah, this is a highly anticipated album. I mean,
shit,
4 or 5 years. Come on now.
Since Vontae Davis' debut, so like it's been a long time coming. And you feel me? He just retired, so we know what to expect when it comes to Wayne. Though a lot of metaphors, a lot of similes, but a lot of wordplay. You feel me? A lot of wordplay, and we can't wait for those kind of albums. I can't wait. Look, I'm so excited for the growth of this channel and how it's gonna grow. You may not see it now, we may not see it in a week or a month, but we're gonna see it eventually because we put in the time, we're putting in the work to make this happen. Yeah. Ty, do you have anything else you want to speak about?
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about shout out to C, shout out to Kendera, shout out to Jafet, shout out to everyone that came through the stream, shout out to anyone that leaves feedback, anything. Just shout out to you
Cause
because
it
without
wouldn't
you
happen.
guys,
It wouldn't
there's
happen
no us.
exactly. There's no us. It wouldn't happen, and we're lucky that we have good friends who can do what they do. And even with them doing what they do, we may not still get where we want to get fast. But with you guys putting in the effort and coming to watch our video, and in the middle of the day when we know you guys do a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of you are busy, a lot of you got college, a lot of you got jobs. So to even take the time and sit here and watch us talk about us sports and the things that we love and we enjoy every day, it means so much to us. Me and Tyler are eternally grateful for the 4 or 5. How many people watched today? I'm eternally grateful to you.
4 or 5.
So is Tyler
Yeah.
Goat. Like, look, we're here to stay, regardless how if you like it or not. What we want to do for you guys, the people who don't like it, is make it better for you. We don't want, we don't want you not to like our content. We want you to like it. So, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. It's your boys, man. Uncensored Sports. We here to stay, boy. We here to make it to the top of this sports talk shit. We love y'all and we
That's a fact.
appreciate y'all. That's gonna be the end of the stream. Tune in tomorrow from 5 to 7. We'll talk about all the daily sports topics, and we'll get to the Thursday night football game tonight between the Vikings and the Rams. Have fun, guys. Stay safe and enjoy life. We'll talk to you later. Peace out, y'all.